We've been just finished doing 1 month of user acceptance testing. We had it at a very small scale. It was basically family and friends and some users within the market. Team from SPENN have been going out recruiting store owners, beauty salons, restaurants, etc. And then we've been testing it with a very small user group. And then we've got 500. We had 500 companies that were signed up, small companies, and then about another 500 users that have been using it in between each other, putting money in, putting money out, paying for transaction services. So we had to unfortunately keep it under wraps. And I must say the people have kept the confidentiality quite good.
The concept of banking the unbanked, we seem to have a bit of a problem with that, mainly because some of those who are unbanked or underbanked do not own a smartphone. But the application of SPENN, the app itself, is dominantly on a smartphone.
That's correct. And but if I can put a little bit wider, for example, in India, how they jumped over the landline telephones and jumped straight into the mobile phones, this is exactly how we see it in other markets as well. If I can take a little bit longer approach to that, I started to look into this, and I was seeing the issue from being an unbanked or underbanked person. How can he communicate with me and you financially? It was not possible for some years ago, and this is what we have solved. We have created a system where we have an autonomous interaction between an unbanked or underbanked and a banked person. That's what we have done. And then we were looking into the issue itself. I mean, there's more than 2 billion people on this planet that doesn't have a bank account. And by giving them the opportunity to take part of the same as me and you, it's a life changer for them, right? And they're now capable of taking part of things that we can take part of. And only because they do have a smartphone, and I'm going to come back to that, they can now take part of the same services as me and you can. Okay. So when it comes to, for example, Philippines, to talk about that first, it's a country of 103 million people. But there's only 4 million bank accounts. But there's 45 million smartphones. So that's quite a big market. I can break these numbers down for you also in Kenya and here as well. It's exactly the same here.
So within the Smart Africa, of course, Rwanda is in charge of smart cities, and this does not exclude financial transactions. How do you read into such a partnership, breaking into the Rwandan market, given the conversations that have been happening from a government to a public level?
I think it's a great development, actually, for not only for Rwanda, but for Africa to have a project like this one, which combines the blockchain technology with existing banks and is offering a service that is better than the mobile money that we have right now or the bank transfers. I think in the end of the day, it's about the economy, and whatever solution allows the economy to be more efficient is the one that will win out. So you can think of the mobile money transfer fees as a sort of a tax or a non-tariff barrier. And what they're doing is that they're breaking down those barriers. So I think it could be very, very important for Africa. But what I'm most happy about is for this blockchain technology is to have provable use cases, you know, things that are working, things that are being done. So I really encourage the cooperation to continue. I think they're just starting. I think they have only scratched the surface. And I think that really just transfers is not even the biggest problem there is. Remittance is really not the biggest problem there is. Because if you look at it from a CFTA angle, that you need to create a Pan-African single digital market, then you need much more than just ability to send money cheaply. You need the ability to prove who you are. You need the systems and the platforms that allow people to trust each other even if they don't know each other. That's what really is going to bring a serious impact on Africa.
You were at the blockchain summit in Uganda. There's another blockchain summit happening in New York as we speak. So it's clear that the idea is here and every nation is trying to catch up. But in regards to the conversations that we have, either with a centralized and a decentralized system, the conversation with governments is very centralized. They need to understand what exactly is happening nation by nation. Just give us what your experiences have been in the border, within Rwanda and outside.
Well, first, there's so many companies which are experimenting with blockchain. It was more than I expected. I was especially surprised in Uganda. They have some really great initiatives going on. In Rwanda too, similar to what INM is doing, they're keeping it a bit secret for now, but I think they'll be coming out soon. And there seems to be a growing acceptance of what blockchain technology can bring to Africa. Basically, it's the internet of value. So we have now the internet of information. And the problem that blockchain solves is that when I send you a message or an email, I copy this information from me and I copy it to you, and it's copied 1,000 times along the way. But if I want to send you money, if I want to send you a land title, I cannot do the same thing. I cannot have a double spend, because if I send you 5,000, it has to move from me to you, and in a way that everybody accepts that there is no possibility of me keeping that 5,000.